Welcome back to Season 5 of the FVC. 14 weeks later, we are here at the finale of Season 5. Bahrain Grand Prix will see the final round again for 3 different drivers, all in the hunt to take the championship. OJ English, D765YT123 and Scarly42 will battle it out under the lights in Bahrain in order to be the Season 5 champion. While we wait for the cars to head out onto the track, there are a number of things that we should go over while we are waiting. First off, the championship situation. Currently, OJ is leading by 7 points, so all he needs to do is not get outscored by anybody by 7 points and he will be the champion of Season 5. D765YT123 can win the championship by if he scores OJ by 7 points and Scarlet by 19 points. 7 points will lead to a tie at 100 or 100 and whatever. However, by countback, D765 will win it. We jump on board with the Mercedes to witness the outlap. Hanging on by just a thread, currently in 3rd place in the standings, Scarlet42. Exactly 26 points behind OJ English, but can still win if a miracle occurs for her. In order for her to win, she will need the win plus fastest lap in the race, scoring her 26 points overall, and needs to then have OJ score 0 points and D765 less than 7. If all of those requisites are met, then she will just somehow become champion of Season 5. A couple of other things as well I need to bring up into my notes as I consistently keep losing them. Nothing really new for Season 5, let's be honest. Last race held here in the 2022 Summer Series. Pole and win taken by Apex, is most recent in the FVC. Currently racing with us today for the Aston Martin team, currently sitting in 12th, but everybody still needs to get their laps done. Let's head on board with D765 for his first flying lap around the Bahrain circuit. Long first straight that you need to take down all the way to turn 1, 2 and 3. Hard braking zone. Hairpin leading directly into another left. You need to get all the way over to the right if you want to get the best racing line, but that is not what you want to do in qualifying. Once you get that, it's full speed DRS zone up to turn 4. Seems like making use of all the space halfway over the white line, cutting in. Just ever so slightly misses the apex curve, but that might be what you want to do, and that is sector 1 finish. Moving on to sector 2, conflicts of 5, 6 and 7. Need to have a decent amount of grip, then tuck it in right into turn 8. Up next, possibly the hardest complex of the entire track, turns 9 and 10. It's an off-camber left-hander tight corner. If you get that exit right, you are perfectly rewarded with a long DRS zone up to the next corner. Wing wide open Mercedes, getting up a decent speed, then it's another 90 degree but wide left-hander into turn 11, then the fast section of the track up turn 12. It's a flat-out right-hander, but you've got to be perfect on the line and the grip. Purple middle sector for the Mercedes driver, heading through turn 13 at the top of the circuit. Sector 3 is mainly straight lines. You've got to get a good exit out of 13 to maximise your run, braking 100 meter board just about, then into turn 14. After that is barely even now, turn 15, coming around the final corner, DRS open again just before the line, setting the benchmark at a 129.041. Mercedes setting the pace. Up next to cross the line is going to be Curly 7 by the looks of things. Never mind, heading into pit lane, that will be the Haas heading over the line of Brady Pollock to start a lap. Eldorado, the teammate of D75, 129.879. He's got his own role to play because the Constructors title is still very much wide open right at the top. Scarlet42, a 131.494. Not what she needs to be doing, but Blyappa, a 129.189 for the Alfa Romeo driver. He's been quick all season and he's still overdue a win in my opinion. Here comes OJ English up next. 129.489 for the championship leader. Got a bit of work cut out for him if he still wants to get up to the top, but he is still comfortable if he sits there, I think. Lap record currently set at a 128.677 by Aston Adam all the way back in Season 3. It's one of the few lap records that isn't held by LCR F1 Ben. Whether or not it gets beaten is very much going to be interesting to see. These cars not quite as fast. I think their peak opportunity to break some of the lap records has definitely passed over the season. Apex heads into 5th place with a 1:30.010 for the Aston Martin team. Neither of them done particularly great laps for the first flying attempts. The yellow in the middle sector heading into sector 3 for one of the Aston Martins going through. I think Scarlet, regarding who we seen off track earlier. Next car to come over the line is going to be Brady Paul at tier 37. A very fast Haas driver yet to win a race. Or no, that is to start a lap. Never mind. Over the past seasons, we've had 5 different titles decided at the Bahrain circuit, with the FA Pixels heading into 7th place with 1:31.947. Also, speaking of Pixels, at McLaren today, longest team partnership stretching over 4 seasons: FVC 2 Season 1, 2022 Summer Series, FVC 2 Season 2, and then FVC Season 5. Pixels and Saskia are now the longest standing team partnership. Yellow flies at the final corner for the Red Bull of VNT Rosenqvist, likely having a spin. Jumping over to SG Impulse, it's a purple first sector for the AlphaTauri driver. Although he's not in the championship anymore, he is still looking to keep his 4th place and possibly even another win. He's proved to be very fast and he can fight back, but there have been a couple of mistakes that he needs to sort out with his driving over the season. He's definitely going to be a contender in future seasons if he stays around, but he needs to clean up a few more things. Then back over to the titles decided at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Another yellow flag at the final corner for a slow-moving Aston Martin. Drivers' titles were the 2022 Summer Series won by Scarly 42 and Season 2 won by Apex, both drivers at McLaren during the time. 2022 Summer Series was also won by McLaren in terms of Constructors' title. Drivers there being Scarly 42 and Apex. They have stayed in the same team for Season 5. Cars coming over the line. Impulse up into 4th with a 1:29.499, and Brady Paul goes into 7th with a 1:30.427. Saskia Mall also sets a 1:34.260 to head into 10th place. Up next is going to be SLR Raikkonen heading over the line in the Haas to set a 1:30.546. 4th row lockout for the Haas team provisionally. Moving back over to titles decided, we are still going for this as we more cars going off. That is the Williams of English. It's a surprising mistake we've seen from the championship leader. Been near flawless all season so far, except for round 1 in my memory, but that wasn't even entirely his fault. Season 4 was won here by Aston Martin, being driven by Apex, Pixels and stand-in driver TSQ Innocent, and Season 2 by Racing Point, by Pixels and Ryan Jack, also known as McLaren Senna 18. If Williams win here, they'd be the first 2 times teams champion. D numbers wins here for the Drivers' Championship, he'd be the first FVC2 graduate to win the main race. If Scarlet somehow wins, she'd also be the first driver to win both a Summer Series and a numbered season. Early 7 heads into 3rd place with a 1:29.349, yellow sector 1 for a spinning McLaren out of turn 3, thankfully staying out of the way of everybody. More cars getting ready to do another lap. Apex dropping it into turn 10. Very difficult corner to get right. Jill Broughton as well in the Ferrari goes into 3rd provisionally, 1:29.284 for the FVC2 graduate. That leaves 2 cars remaining, VNT Rosenqvist in the Red Bull and Simon Baker in the 2nd Williams. Sam was going to need to help his teammate a lot, although it's not an impossible task. To win the Constructors, he's still in it. He needs to defend as hard as he can for his teammate to win. 7.5 minutes remaining in qualifying. 2 drivers left to set a time. OJ English improves to 1:29.151, taking second provisionally alongside his championship rival in first. Jump on board with Apex to continue the rest of this lap, heading into turn 8. Very hard on the power, nearly spinning, losing the back end just a little bit coming out the exit. Then up next, hard, turn 9 and 10. Get it perfectly right, a little bit hesitant on the exit, getting it down though. There's a chance this might not be a push lap, considering the incident we've seen on the previous. Heading through the fast section, turn 12. Got to keep it stuck in nice and tight to the inside now, heading up to turn 13. Ever slightly off the apex corner. Long sector 3 straight, leading down to turns 14 and 15. Pretty hard, 100 meter board, getting turned in, missed the apex just a little bit again. Power down nicely out of turns 14 and 15, coming over the line. Not sure if he improved or not, I've not been paying attention to the times, as I'm going over everything that's happened in the previous season as well as this season. Cutting across turn 1, trying to get back to the pits. Need to be careful to not take out anybody because that could be a big penalty. Something we didn't see that happened. Simon Baker goes up into 8th provisionally with a 1:29.514. Alfa Romeo of Lion for jumping on board again. We're not sure if this is a push lap. It is! It's a 1:28.908 provisional pole for the Alfa Romeo driver. We've seen how outright fast that he can be over the season. He's still looking for that win though. Also very fast in the race, even running away at Abu Dhabi last round, but he needs to calm those mistakes down because he's made too many of them this season and it's cost him multiple times for both podiums and race wins. Up next to cross line is not going to be Brady Bullock diving into pit lane. Simon Baker around the final corner, also heading into pit lane, as will be Apex, but the McLaren coming behind of Nasky Amal of line does not improve from a 1:34.260. Jumping on board, heading over to Eldorado 2009, looking to improve up from 10th, a little bit hesitant, build around through tyre warming, let's jump back off board. They're clearly still on their out lap from the pits. As is JL Broughton, but somebody that's not on an out lap is, oh no, never mind, somebody that is as well on an out lap is D765, looking to take back pole position from the Alfa Romeo. Four minutes remaining. Let's jump on board for another push lap with the current championship contender. Nearly said leader, but I realise that would have been wrong because it is in fact not him leading. Long run down into turn 1. Again, it's a hard braking zone, you've got to get it basically a hairpin. Gets it in nicely, stays over the left hand side of the track, opening up turn 3 but sacrificing a little bit in turn 3. Second DRS zone heading up to turn 4, so yet another hairpin. Just clips the apex corner, it's a perfect line basically heading out of sector 1 into sector 2 as turn 5. It's a purple first sector for the Mercedes driver. Sector 6 and 7 you've got to have a lot of grip into turn 8. Power down nicely, not spinning up the wheels. Then it's through the trickiest part of the track, turns 9 and 10. Perfectly apexing it as well. Gets power down nicely, DRS now wide open, all the way up to turn 11. It's going to be a good run if you can get it. Brakes perfectly, makes the apex, runs out nicely to the other end of the track, gets the line open up for turn 12. Sticks it in nicely to the inside of the corner. Purple middle sector for the Mercedes driver. This could be taking back provisional pole if he completes it at this rate. Later braking down some into turn 14. Runs it nicely through the corners though. Heading over the line, it's going to be 128.748 for the Mercedes driver. 1.5 tenths separate first and second. OJ needs to pick up the pace himself, but he is on a push lap, setting a purple middle sector, heading over now. On board with the Williams driver, around turn 13, gets him round nicely. Long straight between 13 and 14 has no DRS, you've got to get a perfect exit, brakes perfectly for the corner, gets it tucked in nicely, squared away, power on early. Is it going to be good enough for pole? It is not, stays in, or no, improves, sorry, up to second with a 128.864. One minute 40 left in qualifying. But one lap left for all these drivers. One car choosing to stay into pit lane, not going to have enough time to get round now. Broughton will start at best in 4th. One interesting one to watch though is going to be Scarlett 42 on her way to try and improve from 12th. The multitude of seconds up to the front that she needs to find if she wants to be challenging for the championship, and I'm sure that she will be. Let's head over to head on board. Curly 7 to the AlphaTauri team, currently sat in 6th at 139.349 to beat. AlphaTauri drivers have been good and fast all season, both sharing a win. Pretty sure the only team so far this season to have back-to-back wins. Very aggressive through turn 4, might be losing a little bit of speed just by taking that large curb on the inside. Not as fast through turns 5, 6, 7 as some would be. Braking hard into 8, gets the apex just a little too far outside, however, flips in nicely. Qualifying over E75 and English are completed. That is a track limit violation as well for Curly running very far out. By our rule, if it defines the white line, 75% car goes over, that is out of the limits. Heading over to Apex, going around the final corner, 129.6 to beat. He's definitely capable of doing more, winning a Season 4 championship. Does not improve, stays in 9th, heading back to Curly. Next car to cross the line. 129.349 to beat. Does not improve. Up next, Eldorado from 10th. Stays 10th. The only flying lap of the Red Bull VNT Rosenquist is up next. They are going to set 132.199 to take 14th from Sass. Sass does not improve. Brady Pollock goes provisional pole to 128.372. That is huge as Esla Raikkonen spins around the final corner. Up next is going to be the Alfa Romeo. 128.9 to beat, 128.8. Stays 4th, not enough of improvement. Up next though, Scarlett 42, 131 to beat, goes 5th with a 129.115. That is all cars done except for Esla Raikkonen, who spun round the final corner. And there is your qualifying finished for the final qualifying of Season 5. Post qualifying for the final time here in FVC Season 5. Brady Pollock, 037 for Haas, takes the final pole of the season with a 128.372, a flying lap from the South African. D765 and OJ English come in 2nd and 3rd. Going to be fighting out hard for the championship lead. Flyapper heads into 4th and Scarlett in 5th to round out all of our championship contenders 2nd, 3rd and 5th. Broughton 6th, Curly in 7th, plus 8th. Lambaker 9th and Apex in 10th. Heading down to the bottom positions, it is Eldorado in 11th, 12th for FE Pixels, 13th for Esla Raikkonen, 14th for Rosenquist and 15th for Saskia Moll. welcome back to Season 5 of the FVC, Round 14, the finale of this absolutely epic season. Back from qualifying after a very good run for some and not very good for others. Brady Paul 037 is the final pole position of the season, setting a huge margin of 3.5 tenths over D75. Also interesting, D75 is not going to take the final pole position, but he is still in the hunt for the championship, as is the driver behind OJ English. These two are separated by 7 points at the top of the standings, and they are going to be giving it their all for this round. Fly-up 5169 heads into 4th position after qualifying. Original pole was held for a while, but not enough was given by the Alfa Romeo driver to take the 1st position. Scarlett 42, our final of 3 championship contenders, lines up 5th place. She's going to need an absolute miracle if she wants to win the championship, especially from that position. 4 cars in front of her, 2 of which are the other 2 contenders. She has her work cut out for her. FVC2 Season 2 graduate JL Broughton takes 6th position for the final race of Season 5. The AlphaTauri duo line up 7th and 8th as a 4th row lockout for the duo, the Italian team. Simon Baker 46.7 in 9th place. It's not where he wants to be, considering Williams are still in the hunt for the championship, or the World Constructors Championship, but behind so are Apex and Eldorado. The teammates of all the championship contenders are lining up 9th, 10th and 11th. They are going to be giving it their all to score the final remaining points needed to get the Constructors Championship. 12th place goes to FV Pixels in the McLaren team. With teammate Saskia Moll down in 15th, this makes the longest running team pairing in FVC history. 4 seasons long between these 2 drivers. They've been through it all together. Final time in Season 5. Be interesting to see what they have. Esla Raikkonen, the 2nd race in Season 5, is also the final one. The other Haas driver's up at the end of the grid. He's going to have to do all he can to get back into the points. VNT Rosenquist lines up 14th. Red Bull driver, trying to get points on the final race of the season. Saskia Moll, the final car, is in 15th. Heading back up to the front, let's have a hopefully close, hard, clean race. We always want to see that in the FVC, and this is hopefully going to be the best of it all. Game's breaking. 5 red lights are on. Jump start for multiple drivers. The audio is broken. Hang on. Or disconnected. I'm sorry, I can't see the start. There we go. Not sure who got a great start, but D75 and Scarlett 42 getting the best of everybody. The camera is not changing from its position. Everybody seems to be getting through decently cleanly. The top 3 in the championship are up 1, 2, 3. Brady Paul falling down to 4th. Curly up to 5th. Impulse getting the worst start of all down to 15th. Scarlett's in the positions that she needs to be, however, needs to have a lot of things happening behind if she wants to have any hope of the title. Brady Paul, though, is just about making those things work, but needs more to be done. Here comes JL Broughton now against the Williams into turn 9. Thinks better of it as this hard corner is not the place you want to be making overtakes. It is the worst possible place. The Alfa Romeo goes spinning. Lariapa is round. Half spin gets back going, falling to 10th. Unfortunate start for the Alfa Romeo driver. Looking back up the front, Broughton still looking for a way past that Williams. Apex is a brilliant start compared to some of the others. Salmon right behind and Dorado still down in 10th. Crossing over the line for the first time, the first lap of round 14 completed. Scarlett 42 leads the Grand Prix. 136.496 for the Aston Martin driver. Here comes Broughton now behind, having a look round any way he can go to the left hand side into turn 1. It's the long way round, but if he gets it done, which it looks like he might, he's got the red line for turn 2. Forces OJ just out of the corner, forcing him to back off for turn 3. Heading up now to turn 4. It's going to be side by side again, these 2 drivers. Broughton on the early worst line, having to take over the curb. Pushes English just off track ever so slightly. couple of cars already heading through pit lane, unsurprising for the number of jump starts we did see at the beginning. Possibly electing to take their drive-throughs quite early. As things are slowly calming down ever so slightly. Yellow sector 3 for the Red Bull of VNT Rosenquist. Number of cars getting the fastest lap. Brady getting the rest of them all. 132.859. Spin at the final corner for FV Pixels by the looks of it. Gets going again before losing the position, though it isn't showing a point. Still hopefully going to be a good battle, and every position does count, especially when it comes to countback, which is how the championship could end. Heading up to the battle for first, Brady Falk is absolutely flying to try and catch up to the cars in front. Scarlett still commanding the race, but B75 is right there, as well as Brady. OJ is falling down the order just a bit, and he is going to be knocked off of his top step if he doesn't get up any positions further. DRS open for the Mercedes and the Haas, not enough to catch that leading Aston Martin as it stands. However, with the long slipstream that you get between 14 and 15, or 13 and 14, sorry, as well as the DRS zone before turn 1, you could possibly see a change for position. Both the cars behind getting a better exit off the corner than the Aston Martin. Williams of Salmon Baker coming into pit lane, serving the drive-through. C, E75 making a look for lead, doesn't quite get it. Runs out just a little bit wider to avoid spinning Scarlett. There's a spin of Essler Raikkonen down at turn 3, waiting for cars to go on by before getting moving again, falling down to 11th. That does bring Pixels and Rosenquist further into the points. Brings Rosenquist entirely into the points. The longer that these ones fight, Broughton is slowly catching up behind. Wasn't the greatest of launches off the corner for D75, 8 tenths per second, but that is falling due to the existence of DRS. Pixels 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. It is not what the veteran of the FVC wants to have happen in the final race of season 5. Heading on board with Brady Falk. 3 tenths of a second separate the Haas. It's slower in a straight line by the looks of things, and that could be detrimental to some areas of the track. Especially at this circuit, there are a number of long straights, but there are also a number of high-speed corners where that downforce will be helping. A little bit of a lag spike he has, though, falling down. Broughton sitting at 1:32.701 fastest lap for Ferrari. He seems to be having a look around the outside at turn 1, makes the move work. Cleanly round the outside of the leading Aston Martin, heading up to first place. Scarlett falling into second. However, here comes Scarlett on the way back up to turn 4. 365 for Sasuke multiple warnings. Scarlett takes the lead again of the race. Trading places through the use of DRS is something you've got to be careful of. That DRS zone, do get ahead of the car you're chasing, you're going to lose it straight back into turn 4. You're braking perfect. A little bit of a wiggle for the leading Aston Martin by the looks of things. However, D75 didn't get that much better of a launch. Isn't catching up until it is too late. As this continues, we might see a fifth car joining this battle for first with OJ English. And possibly, looking at the distance, maybe even a sixth. Heading down the long straight, slipstream for the Mercedes driver doesn't have enough, but that DRS is going to be even more helpful with how close these cars are. Very close to the rear of that Aston Martin, just has to back out a little bit. Broughton gets past Brady for third place, heading into turn 1. D75 is going to have again the lead of the race. Scarlett will have that DRS down into turn 4. Long way round for her in turn 1, doesn't have it enough grip to make it happen. As it looks to the left hand side, is alongside. DRS is going to be open for her, she's going to get the lead back again. Brady Pollock braking just a little bit too late, getting to the back of Gilbert, and that will drop off them just a little bit from the lead battle. A little bit of breathing room for D765. Haas is all over the back. Let's jump back. I've seen the Williams and the Haas side by side temporarily dropping back. OJ does just a little bit to give a bit more breathing room to that Haas. At this point in the season, you do not want to spin anyone. Broughton not close enough to get DRS off the Mercedes in front. He's a sitting duck for the cars behind. Thankfully, none of them close enough to get anywhere. Over that Haas, with his immense grip compared to the rest of the cars, is going to be flying through the end of the middle sector. Coming into the final sector now, it's going to have all of that advantage though lost, as it is just too slow in a straight line compared to the other cars. Braking much later than the Ferrari, getting close again, avoiding contact this time around. And here we go yet again, as D75 backs out of it. He will have the DRS now up to turn 4. This might be the move he needed to make in order to keep the lead of the race for a little bit longer than a few corners. However, there is a long way to catch up to the back of that Aston Martin. He's not going to do it. He's going to stay behind again for another lap. Broughton caught up again to the leading pack, as is just on the fringes there Brady Pollock, and the 5th and 6th of English and Curley also looking to get up to this battle for first. He seems to be having a look around the left hand side of Scarlett, heading into turn 8, doesn't make it happen. Up next is 9 and 10, you cannot make a move there without killing somebody. Just need to focus on maximising your exit. Here comes Broughton, that car is flying in straight line, pulling out of the switch early, however doesn't have enough fly up and leaving the session due to a disconnect. That is unfortunate for him, down in 7th. He could possibly catch up to this battle if he gets back in. Haas of Brady Pollock getting very close to the rear of that Ferrari again, but it's just too slow in a straight line, going to lose all of that advantage. Even if the slipstream, that Ferrari is just pulling ahead. Ever further, Brady having a look down the inside, not going to happen into turn 14. Too wide of a corner and it's just too fast. Raikkonen retiring from the session. And that brings out this safety car. The race gets neutralised. For the first time we made it 8 laps with a 6-way almost fight for the lead. However, things can entirely change and it is at the worst time possible for some of these cars. From what I can see in the drivers channel, the lag is affecting a lot of drivers. Simon Baker and Eldorado are heading through pit lane, taking the opportunity to get onto new compound of tyres. Paul's choosing to head past the pits and pit at a later time instead. side by side into pit lane for Brady and Dale Broughton. You see all of the top 8 head into pit lane. Brady a long way to go before he gets to his pit box, being in the Haas. No position changed, decent pit stops for everybody here. Hard to lose position under a bad pit stop because again, it doesn't really happen that often. By the looks of things, Rosenquist stays out and that puts Brady into 5th. It'll be very interesting on the restart for the Red Bull driver being that high up. I'm not sure if they've ever been that high up over the season so far. Definitely throw a spanner in the works if everything goes to plan. Five cars left to catch up, depending on how fast they can do it. We might be able to go green flag at the end of this lap. However, it is unlikely. Three-second time penalty for pixels for multiple warnings. 6 seconds now. It is going all horribly wrong for the McLaren team. No confirmation from race control. We'll be doing one more lap under safety car, waiting for 4 more cars. Well, 2 more really as it is now. Pixels leaves the session due to a disconnection. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in period before we get going. I will attempt to see if I can help get back in. Confirmation from race control, safety car heading in the end of this lap. We'll be going green again on lap 11 of 29. 1/3 of the race is gone, 2/3 of it remaining. Scholarly 42 will lead the restart. In second is D765 looking to get ahead in any way possible, but as things stand, if it was to finish now, he'd beat the champion of Season 5. OJ English down in 6th, not scoring enough points in order to avoid getting outscored. Heading on board for the restart. Charlotte keeping it slow up until the latest possible opportunity. Going at the DRS line. Heading over to the right hand side of the track, weaving to try and break that toe. heading further down the field. Brady already alongside. Saskimol retiring now. That's a number of cars, I think, involved in an accident. In fact, not sure what's happened. Simon Baker looked to also be involved. No safety car coming out as of yet. Race stays green. Brady making very quick with the Red Bull. Also dispatching the Ferrari very quickly. There is a number of cars vying to get past that Red Bull driver as quick as they can. Running wide off of turn 7. Contact with English into turn 8. That is going to be huge implication. There's a number of cars going round. Spin for Rosenquist. Don't think anybody else involved, but there is definitely contact from the Alfa Romeo as well. Spinning, tumbling down the order into 13th. That is also delaying English just that bit more, trying to get up into the position he needs to be in. We'll keep an eye on all the battles heading here as Brady Pollock in the slipstream has a look. Try and defend, but not going to happen. Or no, Brady Pollock does have to make it happen. Diving down the inside of turn 14. Gets the move done. No DRS for a few laps after the safety car. The McLaren get cleared up for the cars coming round again. The higher top speed of the Mercedes, though. Here comes the Mercedes just backing off for that detection zone. Brady has a very ambitious dive into turn 1, doesn't make it work, running off the road, missing entirely position. That might just open him up to Broughton, and indeed it does. Not much space there given, just about a car's width between the two. Brady is able to break later. Broughton trying to make a better line, cutting back at turn 4, down to the inside, but the outside of the next run is not going to work. That higher grip pass is also going to just rocket away in these few corners. Pixels disconnecting from the session again. Try and send an invite to come back in without missing too much. The purple middle sector for the Haas driver. In the slipstream, having a look at any which way he can break it. That's Mercedes. It's not going to happen though, he's not enough straight line speed. Simon Baker, 3 time probably for multiple warnings. In the slipstream again, trying to catch up. Might actually get it done this time. It's faster than Mercedes. DRS enabled this lap. Whoever the detection zone is going to be Brady, so he's going to get the advantage, or it might actually be the number. I'm not sure quite who was behind at that point. Brady does lead into the corner, and it is going to be Brady gets the DRS, breaking a little bit too late to get the advantage. Number battle for 8th place. Impulse first is Apex. We see Brady making a move for first place, diving down at turn 8. Very ambitious, but gets the move done. However, with the lower top speed of that car, he's going to be an absolute sitting duck with the car behind. Already pulling to the left hand side, you can see the pure speed from the Aston Martin roaring past it. Brady's going to have the inside line through turn 11. Out of line through turn 12 as well is going to cause that Haas to get away even further. E75 right on the diffuser of the Aston Martin out of turn 13. DRS down the main straight. That has going to be a sitting dog, weaving over the track, moving right hand side, getting the better line, slowly closing off. Scarlett just backs off a little bit to get the DRS, as I think did D765 as well. Lag spikes going to be affecting all these. Scarlett tries boxing in. D765 not going to work. They're going to be 3 wide coming down into turn 4. D765 making the best of it. Scarlett on the best line though. Here comes Broughton up into the mix. It's a four-way fight for the lead. 1:31.386 for Blyappa, taking the fastest lap of the race so far. Scarlett just losing out a little bit to keep Broughton behind. 6 tenths of a second to separate second and third. DRS wide open for a number of cars. Ready to look for any way past possible. DRS open heading into turn 1. Let's look down to the inside line. Brakes possibly a little early. I think I heard a bit of a lockup. Doesn't matter. He stays ahead. He's going to have a disadvantage sitting into turn 4, though the DRS is not going to be on his car. It's going to be on D75. Here comes Scarlett as well, rocketing down the inside, having a look, making a move for second place. Each one of these moves is vital for both the championship hopes of E765 and for English. Second place is enough for the Mercedes driver to win the championship, but third is not. Even with the fastest lap, it's going to be 1 point over or under regarding on which way it falls. Here comes the Ferrari getting better one turn on the corner. DRS is open, he's going to be gaining all the way down to turn 11. Having a look to the inside line. Backs out of it just at the last second, but letting the Mercedes know he's there and he is looking for that podium space. Gordon just getting a better run out of the final corner, catching all the way in that Mercedes. Not going to be enough though, he's going to take a very ambitious dive. D75 has a look at said dive against Scarlett, maybe making it work. Contact between the two cars, front wing, half spin for Scarlett, Broughton just diving at the last second. There's perfect reaction time from him. By the looks of things, I think the Mercedes also got the DRS heading into turn 4. That is almost perfect for what he could do. As things stand, it swaps ways again. Each move is completely vital no matter what way it goes. Scarlett, in her current position, is not in contention, not going to win the championship, because she could still change it depending entirely on how she drives over the next half of the race. These four have to be careful though. English and Curly are lurking just in the background, and if they keep battling the way they are, keep slowing each other down, it could be a six-way fight again for the win. E75 having a look down for the lead, not going to make it happen, just a bit too far back. Gonna have to wait a little bit later if he wants to avoid murdering the Haas in front. Impulse and Dorado having a fight for 7th place. Please excuse me, I need to go deal with something. Getting back to the race, had to deal with a problem in Season 5 Driver's Channel. 3-second time penalty for Apex, multiple warnings. Apex also spinning it through turn 10, inopportune timing, is falling out of the points. Every lap that passes that Haas gets a little bit further into distance, and it just risks D75 a little bit more. OJ's going to have to be praying for a mistake as things calm down again. Gaps widen just a little bit. He needs D75 to finish third or worse from his current position. Charlotte trying her absolute best to get up to D765. Second, third and fifth is where the championship contenders started, and second, third and fifth are going to be the vital positions for the entirety of this race. DRS open again for the Aston Martin driver, trying her best to absolutely catch up. Lap after lap though, that gap just gets a little bit too far, or a little bit opens up a little bit more each lap, I should say. Jumping back though, Championship leader English trying his best to make a move for fourth place. If he gets into fourth place and finishes there, it'll again be another vital position, and he can win the championship if he gets into fourth and things don't change for the rest of the race. He needs to not get outscored by 7 points. He gets into fourth, it'll be a 6-point difference, but it'll just be enough. Gap between second and third is falling. It was 0.7 of a second around this point last lap. It is now half second. Falling a little bit on corner exit, but here comes Scarlett. Possibly a little bit of a curse of a commentator gap, almost doubling to what it was at its best. You see also the gap between English and Broughton just sort of stagnating and stabilising a little bit as well. Everything slowly slowing down and stagnating. Give me one more. Up. Oh. Very far off track for Curly in the background. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for exceeding the limits. No DRS for the Ferrari just outside of that window. And although English is a far way back, he is going to have the advantage of opening up that rear wing all the way down the straight. By loose things, the head of that Ferrari is quick. Not much of a gain from Williams all the way down. Pixel's disconnecting again. Wrong button, I was staring at it. Off track again for the AlphaTauri. Might be something to watch on, might be something to clip a couple of times if he keeps doing it. That is an exceeding track limits both in-game and by the rulebook. Must keep at least 25% of your car over the white line at all times. That was definitely 100% over and by a fair margin for the AlphaTauri driver. 2.5 tenths separate English and Broughton. That gap widens out to about 3.2 before the slipstream kicks in. Williams driver might just be close enough to have a look into turn 1 about making a move. Not the greatest exit from turn 14 and 15. Rear wing open though, gaining all the way down the straight. Trying to catch up, he needs to get into 4th place. He's not got long left, he wants to win the championship. As it stands, it is swinging Mercedes. On both fronts, it is swinging Mercedes, both of them, drivers and for constructors. I'm not sure how many points of difference is needed for the Constructors' Championship. That will be checked after the race. Off track again for Curly 7. On board again with the Williams driver, it's 4 tenths of a second. He might just be close enough to have a really ambitious dive into turn 1. Gaining all the way down, not close enough, thinks better of it. However, that second BRS zone all the way down to turn 4 might prove into the advantage. Not a great exit for English getting off of the corner, letting Ferrari just run away that bit more. FV Pixels another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Again, heading far off the road for the AlphaTauri. That is 3 times counting without getting a penalty. That will be getting clipped and submitted by me. Spin at turn 8 for Apex, losing 11th place, falling down further again. Not what Aston Martin needs if he wants to try and take constructors. He's fell down a number of positions over the last couple of laps. Again, those tires are going to be absolutely cooked. Closer again though. Here comes OJ heading down to turn 1, having gone to the left hand side of the track, trying to get past Brodin. Going to be too wide into the approach runner. He needs to make this move work as soon as he can. He's going to have the DRS advantage, gets the better grip, forces his way almost round. Doesn't seem to have any DRS assist, and it doesn't matter, the Ferrari does not have it either, heading down to turn 4. Trying as much as he can. Again, with 4 laps remaining, it swings in favour of OJ English, or no it doesn't. D75 is in the lead of the race, Brady Pollock falling to 2nd. Completely missed as we see the AlphaTauri going off the track again, staying off track for a long time, almost entirely down. Or at least I'm getting 3-second time penalty in game for multiple warnings that time. OJ has been as patient and as calm as possible, getting up into 4th place. He needs to get further up the grid, he needs to minimise as much as he can, but right now only 2nd place with the fastest lap would have the possibility of saving him. Brady Pollock falls down to 3rd, heading into pit lane. Soft compound tyre, it's going to be a sprint. The fastest lap. Broughton having a look to the left hand side, trying to do the same thing to the Williams what it did to him. Doesn't quite have the ability to make it work. He will stay behind, but having another run at DRS. English moves to the right hand side of the track, trying to stave off that flying Ferrari as best as he can. The move is done. Contact between the 2 cars. English is going around half spin, falling down to 5th. Contact with Ferrari, just enough to send it into a slight spin. Recovers it quickly before going all the way around, minimising that damage, but it's still vital positions that he needs to gain. Worked hard to get past Broughton. He now needs to get back past Curley and Broughton again. Wants even a hope. The pace of the Mercedes and the gap between Scarlett and D765, I don't think she's going to catch him by the end of the race. Pixels, another penalty for multiple warnings. 12 seconds total in penalty. Pixels nearly losing it around turn 10, causing up a yellow flag for sector 2, nothing else happening. Early 7 looks to be falling under threat. Here comes English again, side by side with the AlphaTauri driver. They're going to be neck and neck heading into turn 11. AlphaTauri brakes later, but OJ has the inside line for the corner. He's going to have a better, wider line for turn 12, but that AlphaTauri is on the inside. It's disadvantage though, having to slow down just a little bit more. English having a look, having a dive even, down through turn 13. They're going to be side by side again down the straight. It is going to be who has the better brakes into turn 14. Neither of them will have it as they are behind each other, running up the track. Again goes Curly, but we will have the DRS assistance all the way down the straight as English is just too far back from that Ferrari. 2 laps remain in this Grand Prix. It is swinging in favour of Mercedes. Here comes Curly again. To the left hand side, they're going to be too wide into turn 1. Curly getting the better part of the line, heading into the side of English. Having just back off a 1:29.933 for the soft at Haas, setting the fastest lap of the race. Not quite enough, I'm pretty sure, to beat the lap record. It was a very silly move unless he had damage or something required to go into pit lane. We see the back marker of Vinti Rosenqvist. This could completely change the outcome if something happens between these two cars. Ghosting is on. Never mind, nothing will happen, thankfully. Blue flags coming into effect. Ghosting the car ahead. Contact. Just enough to throw OJ English off, or throw Curly 7 just too far behind to get the DRS. As it stands, that seems to be it written for Season 5. There is 1 and a bit laps left to go. D765 is leading the race. OJ is only down in 4th. He has 1 lap left of Season 5, the lap that means it all for the Mercedes driver. 15 corners to go. He needs to do them absolutely perfectly. Any mistake now could cost him this championship. Half the lap is gone. He has held it perfectly, heading round turn 8. Hardest section of the circuit coming up. If you drop it now, you are very likely to not get going in time. He keeps it steady, keeps it going in a straight line. That is the hardest part navigated. It only gets easier from here. Red Bull of Rosenqvist stopping on the straight between 10 and 11. We're heading round the top of the circuit now. D765. He has held it perfectly. 29 laps later, he has done everything he can to the best of his ability. From FVC 2 Season 1, graduating to the main series, he's going to be the champion. FVC Season 5 is won by Mercedes and D765. Scarlett 42 will come home in 2nd, Broughton in 3rd, and OJ English just missing in the championship in 4th place. It has swung hands many times, but it swung one too many at the end of this race. D765 is the FVC Season 5 champion of the world. Estrogen Impulse and Curly 7 come home 5th and 6th in back-to-back. 3rd row for the AlphaTauri team. Brady Pollock diving into pit lane late to go on to soft cabotage. Will take the fastest lap but finishes down in 7th. Eldorado in 8th. Simon Baker 9th, and by the looks of things, Apex will most likely be finishing in 10th. Not sure which way the Constructors' title falls. The final points have been taken by Aston Martin. FE Pixels come home 11th and Bly Yappa in 12th. Possibly, actually, no, Bly Yappa in 11th due to penalties, and in 12th, in fact, is Pixels. And with that, AlphaTauri is no longer the only team to win back-to-back races this season. Five times a winner in Season 5. Coming up from FVC 2 Season 1, graduating to the main series, he has finally won all the glory possible in the FVC. D765YT123 is your new FVC champion of the world, winning under the lights in Bahrain. Scarlett finished second. It was unlikely for her that she'd be able to win. The possibility was there, but the odds were stacked against her. D765, after a perfect race just over the 47-minute mark, wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Scarlett 42, 3.3 seconds back, finishes in second. Third goes to JL Broughton, with fourth going to OJ English, just missing the title in Season 5. Impulse and Curly come home 5th and 6th, with Brady Pollock heading into 7th. Eldorado comes home in 8th, Simon Baker 9th, and the final point in the race heads to Apex in 10th. 11th goes to Bly Yapper after a very unfortunate race, FV Pixels in 12th. BNT Rosenquist just DNFing at the end of the race, but gets considered in the standings due to how late it was. Laskimol in 14th and Esler Raikkonen 15th. Season 5 has come and went. It's been a long time. 14 weeks later.